Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be doing my 2020 Democrat primary prediction post-3rd debate. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We can start here with the state of Iowa. Now, I will warn you guys, I don't have all the candidates up because 15% is the threshold to gain a delegate in a state, I believe. I'm going to be using that this time for real. So we'll start in Iowa, and we'll be doing percentages of delegates. So obviously, I don't think Harris and Beta are going to be getting any delegates this time around. However, I definitely think that this is going to be an interesting race. Will Sanders break 15%? It's possible, but I don't know if he's going to get a whole lot past it. I think that Warren could potentially get around 36 to 39%, and then Biden will narrowly lose the state. I think Warren would narrowly beat Biden, putting Biden's future at risk, and then we go to New Hampshire. Now, this is vital for the Sanders campaign that he wins this state. It's going to be a tight race between him and Warren. I don't think Biden is really the best candidate for the state. But after he loses New Hampshire, and actually I believe he will come in third place here to Biden, this is a twin state with Vermont. He's got to win it. But Sanders on the fall, he loses the state of New Hampshire, and he is going to drop out of the race, and now the race looks south to South Carolina. Now, this is where things come in. Harris is probably going to put a lot more energy into South Carolina, but is she going to be able to win the state? I really don't think she will. She could break 20% there if she keeps up whatever pandering she needs to do, and I think Biden is going to break roughly around 50, and I think the rest are going to go probably to Elizabeth Warren. So Biden is going to win his first state of South Carolina, and then the race looks to the west to Nevada. This is going to be a very tough race. I believe it's going to be between Biden and Warren. Sanders is not in the race anymore, folks, so I think that it's going to be very tight. Warren's going to get the progressive vote out, and I think that Nevada is going to go for Warren. Now, this is huge because Warren just won 3 out of the 4 first primary states. Now we go to the Super Tuesday states of Alabama, so we can start here and fill these out. Now, again, Kamala Harris would probably do significantly well in the South compared to the rest of the country, and we'll get to her in a minute. But as we fill out the state of Alabama here, we can start here. Biden's probably going to win a majority of the delegates here. I think Harris will eat into his margins, actually, and I think Warren might get the rest in the state of Alabama. So Biden has won the state of Alabama. State of Arkansas, on the other hand, Bill's home state. So it's obviously blue in the presidential election, guys, because it's Bill's home state. So it's a vital state of Arkansas. It's totally been vital for the past 20 years and has not been trending red. So Biden will do very well there. I don't think Harris will even hit the threshold in Arkansas due to a majority of the Democrats there still probably being white. A lot of holdovers there. It's a very strange situation going on in Arkansas. But Biden will beat Warren there. And then we turn to the state of California. Again, I don't believe Harris is going to win her home state. I think that she will do a decent amount, but Biden is going to take it by around 10 points at the end of the day. And it's going to put a big damper on the Harris campaign. She did gain a significant amount of delegates, but will it be enough, or will she be dropping out after today? We'll have to analyze that for a second. Colorado, I think that Warren is going to take the state of Colorado pretty easily over Joe Biden, and I think that the state of Maine will also go to Warren big time because she's from the region, the Northeast, so she'll win Maine. As for the state of Massachusetts, it's Warren's home state. I believe she'll take it fairly easily over Joe Biden. And as for the state of Minnesota, they do love weirdos. But I guess they're all weirdos, though, this time around. I think Warren is going to be able to take it actually by a significant amount of margin, as a lot of the Midwestern Democrats might see her as, you know, what they kind of saw Bernie as in 2016. I don't think that they would be able to win these states in a general, but kind of a pseudo-progressivism where, oh, we're so up for helping out the poor here, we'll tax them up and give them shitty health care. But it is what it is. As for the state of North Carolina, there's another state that I don't think Harris is going to hit the threshold in, but I think Biden will win a significant amount of delegates. I think he's a much better fit for the South, and I think he will win North Carolina as well as, you know, he won South Carolina. We'll fill in the South as we go on. As for the state of Oklahoma, Warren always says she's from there, so I think she's going to beat Biden, also because Harris beat Biden there last time around. It's possible, though, that Beta's still in the race. If he's going to be campaigning in Texas, it might bleed over. So it's possible he'll hit 15 there as he desperately tries to stay in the race. But it might hurt Warren because, again, Warren, the fake Native American, a lot of Native American Democrats in Oklahoma might be turned off by that. But Oklahoma should go to Warren at the end of the day as we move to Tennessee here. Tennessee is a very Appalachian area. I still think Biden would win it over Warren, but it would be closer, and that would be Tennessee. As for the state of Texas, this is a big one for the Beto campaign, or the Beto O'Cuck campaign. That's why he's still in the race here. I think that he would probably break, again, around 26%. I think Biden would still win the state, get around 42. I think he'd come in third place, and I think after today he would drop out for sure. He would take the big L in the state of Texas. In the state of Utah, it's another state I think Warren would do well in over Biden. A lot of the Democrats there probably be more anti-establishmentarian, kind of how they supported Bernie by a very wide margin in 2016. As for the state of Vermont, Bernie's not in the race anymore, but I think that he will get enough of write-ins in the state to actually break the threshold. But other than that, I think that Warren is probably going to end up winning the state by a big margin because it's more progressivism, and that will give the state into the Elizabeth Warren column. So she's doing pretty well in the Northeast, Biden very well in the South, and we'll continue to fill this map out here. Last Super Tuesday state before we fill in the territories, which vote right after. Virginia would be a big Biden state. I think Biden would win it significantly. I think Harris might gain a little bit of support there too because she is establishmentarian, I guess you would say. And Warren take the progressive vote in the state, and Biden would still carry the state of Virginia. So right now, after today, it's kind of a two-way race between Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren. Harris is left out to dry. She did poorly in the South, poorly in California. She's going to drop out. Beta couldn't win Texas. He's not going to win. He's going to drop out. And then we can fill out these states here. Biden might win them off. Biden probably going to win all of these states just based off name recognition in the media. People know him as the VP if they know any candidate at all. So I think Biden would do very well here in all of these places, especially Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's very close. I mean, Puerto Rico's big. We got to fill this out differently. I think he'd probably win 2/3 of the vote there. As for these other places, Biden probably going to win them. I mean, Tulsi probably would win all of them if she was in the race because she could actually appeal to these people being Hawaiian and all. But that's beside the point. Maybe Yang, he gets the Asian support. But as for right now, we filled out a decent amount of these primaries. Let's go to the next set here. We'll go to the state of Idaho, another state I could see Warren taking with like 70% of the vote. Again, no Democrat presence in the state. Michigan is a state that's going to be vital to both campaigns. It's going to be very tight, but I actually think Warren is going to narrowly win Michigan. If Warren has the worst chance of beating Trump, then I'm going to vote for Warren. If Biden looks like he's going to lose to Trump, I'm going to vote for Biden because I do play 4D chess, and I will be voting in the 2020 Democrat primary for certain. As for the state of Mississippi, another state I think that Biden would easily take. Probably, I could see Warren getting roughly around 1/3 of the black vote. I don't think she'd do as bad as Bernie did, but I mean, I don't think she would do as well as even Hillary Clinton did against Obama. She roughly got 1/3. I think that'd be roughly around where she would go. It wouldn't be like Bernie Sanders, who would get 15%. I'm not actually sure why Bernie did so bad. A lot of the black voters in the South are actually more moderate to conservative in terms of social ideology. So note to Republicans, you should try to make gains with those groups for sure in the future. As for the state of Missouri, this is going to be another tough state. I actually think Warren is going to narrowly pull it off against Joe Biden. There is Missouri. As for the state of Washington, a big Warren state for sure. She'll probably get around 65%. Very anti-establishmentarian state up in the West Coast. And as for the state of North Dakota, it is a primary. I don't think it's open to the public, so I'm thinking Biden would win it by a significant margin over Warren. But not like a Hillary Bernie thing. I think Warren would get like again around 30 to 40% of the vote there. But Biden picks up a state in the middle of the country because of the closed primary nonsense or whatever they want to do. But the Democrats try to rig their primaries for different reasons. Now I absolutely am opposed to both of these candidates, but I could see the Democrats try to rig it in favor of Biden a little bit. but not significantly. It's not going to be like 2016 where Bernie Sanders was effectively closed out. Warren has a lot less hatred for the political establishment, so that I think will definitely play a role here. As for the state of Arizona, which is next, I think Biden would carry it. I don't know how Warren would fare among Latinos. I think she would do okay. I don't know if she would be able to win the Latino vote, but again, I think it'd be very tight. I actually think Biden wouldn't break 60. These primaries are going down to the wire here, and I think Warren's going to do better in a lot of these states than Bernie Sanders did, especially because Biden's got the old age factor, and Warren's more establishmentarian than Bernie, so there's that. As for the state of Florida, this is a big one. A lot of conservative Cuban people, they're not going to like the socialism coming from Warren. I think that she would probably break like 40, or probably a little bit less than that, but all the boomer Democrats coming out for Joe Biden the way they came out for Hillary Clinton, and that's going to put Biden over the top in Florida. As for the state of Illinois, I think it's going to be closer. The state of Illinois, I think Warren would probably get around. I mean, Bernie did actually pretty well in the state against Hillary. I think Warren would come close to winning it. Actually, I think Biden will win it by 10. I mean, it is what it is, folks. Illinois would go for Joe Biden. As for the state of Ohio, which is next on our list, home of a male Warren, namely Richard Cordray, terrible candidate for governor, but about on the same level of Mike DeWine, and DeWine was able to beat him. So I don't think Warren would stand a chance in Ohio in the general, but I do think that she would win the primary there. I think she would, get that Cordray type of vote out and win. As for that, look at the total now. She's down around less than 200 delegates to Joe Biden. Other candidates not even significant here, and the superdelegates might play a role at the end of it looking now. But as for right now, and then we move to Georgia, the next primary that will happen, Biden's going to do very well in it. I think Biden would break 60, 63%, and then Warren's going to get around 37, so there's that. And as for the state of Alaska, Warren's going to have a big win in the state of Alaska for sure. Just like they loved Bernie Sanders, they'll like Warren. As for the state of Hawaii, another big win I would assume for Warren over Joe Biden. And the state of Louisiana, this would be another big win for Biden. Biden would beat Warren there probably by around 20 points or so. The state of Wyoming here, where Warren would probably destroy Joe Biden in the vote count there. And then we can look to the state of Wisconsin, and this is a very pivotal state. And it is a state I think Warren will carry by a significant margin, just like Bernie Sanders carried it by a significant margin in 2016. Now we do the Ocala primary states. That is all these primary states up here: Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, Maryland, New York, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. So again, Rhode Island is a state I think that, it went for Bernie. I think Warren would do very well there compared to Biden. As for the state of Connecticut, I think that Warren would probably end up winning it. State Bernie lost narrowly. I think Warren would win in Connecticut. As for Delaware, it's Biden's home state. I still don't think he's going to win it by a super big margin, but he'll easily carry his home state. As for the state of Maryland, this is another state Biden's going to do very well in. Probably around 60% over Elizabeth Warren. As for the state of New York, though, this is a pivotal one, and Biden, I think, hot take, will lose the state of New York to Elizabeth Warren. I think he'd probably get around, 47, 48%. But I think that, again, I think Warren would pull enough from the Hillary crowd and hold the Bernie crowd and win the state of New York, and that would make things a little bit closer, and that's a big state there. As for the state of Pennsylvania, another win I think Warren would have over Joe Biden. This would be an astounding thing. It'd be very narrow. It's Biden lived there in Scranton, but I think that that's not going to play a big role. I think it's going to be very close, but I think Warren's going to shock Biden and win the state by 1, and it's really going to expose Biden's weaknesses throughout the Rust Belt. As for the state of, I think we did every state in this primary section. We can move to Kansas. Again, Kansas, Indiana, Nebraska, and West Virginia here. Warren would probably do very well in all these states here. Kansas, she'd win a lot of delegates in Nebraska. As for Indiana, she would probably beat Biden, probably like by 10 points. And in the state of West Virginia, I can see her winning. I mean, Bernie won it big, I believe, so I think she'd probably win by a decent margin there. Now we can turn to the Kentucky primary, another state I think she'll be able to win by a wide margin over Joe Biden. Well, maybe not that wide. I mean, Bernie narrowly lost it, but I think she'd still win it. Oregon would be a big win for the Warren campaign. Bernie got like 60% of the vote there, if I recall correctly, and she'll win that. As for the state of Montana, South Dakota, New Mexico, New Jersey, and D.C. Are the remaining states here. Now, the state of Montana is going to probably, again, be a state that will go for Elizabeth Warren by a decent margin, as well as the state of South Dakota will also go for Warren. Again, the native reservations will be a little... Some people will be upset, but I think some people may still be enthused by a potential 1,024th Native American. Again, these are Democrats, guys. So it is what it is. As for the New Mexico primary, this is going to be very tight. I could see Biden winning by around 3 delegates there, and New Jersey is going to be a bellwether here. Again, I don't think Warren. I think it'd be very close. I don't think Warren would win the New Jersey primary. But here's the final map we have here. Well, beside D.C., D.C.'s going for Joe Biden by a decent margin, probably 70-30. And there's that. So Biden somehow limped his way to the nomination based on the DNC, I guess you would say. I don't know if it's the DNC money or the DNC backing or whatever, being the establishment candidate, just like Hillary did in 2016. And now he's probably going to be a very vulnerable candidate for Donald Trump to match, and Donald Trump will throw him down easily. As for the superdelegates, though, this is a big deal, though, because the nomination is not over. This is going to be a bloody, very bloody, contested convention, and you guys know it, and I know it, and folks, this is going to be crazy. Obviously, you know, O'Rourke, Harris, Sanders, they're out of the mix. The superdelegates are going to have to vote, and if they choose Biden, the Warren crowd will throw a fit. I mean, if they choose Warren, the corporate crowd, the Biden crowd, will have a fit. Now, I don't know how it's going to play out. I'm going to guess Warren does a lot better with supers than Bernie did. I think that it's going to be very close. Things can go down to the wire here. But, I mean, she is probably going to win around like 38. She's not going to win like 10% like Bernie did. And then Biden will win 60%. And Biden will win the nomination 2292 to 1984, and this will spark a contested convention. I don't even think, does Biden even have half of the delegates here to even potentially even clinch the nomination? Yes, as we can tell here, Biden did clinch the nomination here very narrowly. Apparently, he just barely broke the threshold to get the delegate count. He was about 50 super delegates over, so this would be the final map. Biden would clinch the nomination this way. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like this video. Please comment below what you think and what you think the results would be, and please hit that big red subscribe button so you never miss another video, as well as hitting the bell for notifications. So thanks everybody for watching, guys. Red Eagle out.